Hello and welcome everyone to this very special episode of Love, Life and Energy. I'm super excited to have our very special guest, Patricia Schneebaum. She's actually manifested her partner and has actually been on holidays with him. And she's back to tell us the tale. And so if you're curious to hear how she manifested her partner, stick around. Hey, my name is Michelle Chung, and I'm a live manifestation expert, which means I help women manifest their soulmate live in person, offline. And I help career-driven, A-type alpha women find their man so they can have the amazing, committed, and effortless relationship they deserve. Hello, Patricia. So excited to have you on. Welcome.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me in your podcast, and thank you for the wonderful influence you gave me and helped me bring about this life and helped me manifest. Thank you. That was so inspirational.
You're welcome. So, Patricia, you've got a background in medicine, personal development. You're working with the subconscious, also led to discovering astrology, and you're an author and you publish your own book.
Yes, well, that's how my way came about, and I think it's always important to follow your own path, develop your own mindset, and of course, as we go along in our societies and Western societies that are very oriented towards the external, towards outward manifestation, towards outward success, often very material, we sometimes try to lose our inner voice. That's what I found. So at some point when I opened myself up for personal development, I found it so important to come to touch with your subconscious because 80%, maybe even 90% is the subconscious. We're almost, I think, like an iceberg that is below the surface, and we tend to forget about that. And it's quite often in our, let's call it failures, or let's call it, I loved what you said, that sentence that either you get what you want or you get a lesson. That was so wonderful and eye-opening. So if we build up on those, let's say, events that don't go according to plan, we choose to learn a lot about ourselves, and that is where we can start to do the work and start to go the path we are meant to be going.
Wow, absolutely, 100%, 100%. And I'd love to talk a bit more about the subconscious. But firstly, just I guess to wind back a little bit, how did we actually meet? I'd love to hear your take on that. I think it was through Intonations. I was giving a webinar.
Yes, we first met on a webinar, and then I got inspired by your talk and decided to get the book. And I think it's always like Rumi says, a wonderful poet, when the pupil is ready, the teacher shows up. So my advice to everyone is open up, open your heart, decide what you want to go, and inspirations will keep flowing in from wherever. It's either in the bookstore, it's either online, it's you will find amazing things out there when you open up and have confidence that the right people and the right topics will always catch you at the same time. I mean, I could give some inspirations that worked with me, but I think the main message is find out what works for you, be open.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's pretty much like listening and honing your intuition in that silence of just receiving that feminine energy that we always talk about and being able to hear for the right messengers and the right teachers, like you said. And when you're open, some things will just strike you and your ear just catches something that is just so uniquely for you at that moment, that message, right?
Exactly. And that's just, it can be one sentence. It's like what Hemingway said, whom I really admire. He said, write one true sentence a day for yourself to find out about the world, to find out about you. And if you put that to action, really miracles can happen.
Wow, I love it. That's amazing. That's a wonderful quote. Wow. And so tell us a little bit about your own journey with love and finding your soulmate and how you found him.
My own journey was a very, let's say, turbulent one. Um, and I needed to go this turbulent way to find myself. I've had some of those traditional relationships where you live together, where it's very yeah, traditional, where the woman is supposed to step back and receives a lot of criticism. And somehow I didn't feel I could fit in there. So after the last, yeah, let's say long-term relationship ended, it left me feeling, I'm not saying frustrated, but it was really not what I wanted. And also when I see people, I realize that many are very unhappy. As you said, I have a background in medicine. I see a number of diseases coming up because people align with the wrong energies, with the wrong partners. Of course, this is all 100% subconscious and not even aware of what's happening in their life. And you see people suffering, and I didn't want to end up like that. So I thought, no, I'm not stepping into that. And then probably because I, of course, have some narcissistic traits as well that I either act out on them, let's be very open, or attract into my life. I had a series of very interesting, very, let's say, intense, but it was not a relationship. It's just rather an on and off thing that also didn't leave me fulfilled. So I thought, okay, what's happening here? I'm not happy with the traditional relationship, the way it was going. I'm not happy with those super exciting on and off things that bring a lot of excitement, bring a lot of fresh energy into your life, but ultimately didn't leave me emotionally fulfilled. So it was like a sort of point zero where I said, okay, back to basics. Who are you? What are your core values? What do I need to let go? That lovely book you mentioned by David Hawking, Letting Go.
Mm,
I got more of his books about levels of energy
yes.
and found out that the first thing you need to do is to get yourself into higher levels of energies, which of course we can't achieve if we work all the time, are busy meeting schedules all the time, other people's expectations on it all keeps us in negative energies. So step back, have a break, find it who you really are, what really serves you, and then let it flow in. Let get into that feminine energy to receive inspirations. And that really helped me to let go of my core beliefs. I've followed some coaches, some webinars to find out what my limiting beliefs are. I'm still working on them. It's always work ongoing, work on progress. You never really are there. And then I decided to let it go. And then it happens all of a sudden. It's like a process that keeps developing. And all of a sudden you say, hey, it doesn't work anymore. Don't do it. Do something else. I'll take another path. And in that very moment, things happen to change
Wow.
suddenly.
Wow. So you could actually pinpoint that moment in time where things actually changed for you and shifted.
Yes, I couldn't give a specific day, but I could say when I was left again, sort of unfulfilled by the people I met, I decided, no,
You noticed
stop
the
it.
pattern.
I've had enough of it. It's not what serves me anymore. It's not what I want in life. And then things changed because I went into a different stage of energy.
Wow.
And then
Would you
the
say
beautiful
that
thing is, sorry.
that's okay? I'm just trying to, I guess, summarize this for our listeners. So it almost seemed like it was a very decisive moment that you said, no, I'm changing this. I'm making a decision. I'm making a change.
Exactly, because I think our strong point as humans is that we have the free will. It always, or sometimes when you get into spiritual development, it does tend to get esoteric, which I don't support. And you have this karma thing, and oh, and things are supposed to happen. Maybe yes, but maybe not. Maybe we just have our free will that we need to exert, that we need to say, okay, I've made those experiences. Maybe I was supposed to make those experiences, but only to learn from them. Our strongest pitfalls are our deepest pearls. We can
Yes.
transform it into pearls of magic, into pearls of wisdom if we choose to get the lesson from it. And that's where I think there's no such thing as karma in the sense that we are bound or doomed to do it, like Odyssey marrying his mother. No, it's a point where we are supposed to take a decision, we're supposed to become very intentional and very conscious. It's where the point where the subconscious wants to move up, arise into the conscious. And that is only possible with a free will. And we are empowered to use our free will.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to delve more into the subconscious part, but I'm sure everyone is super curious. How did you actually manifest your partner at that point when you decided, not going to repeat these same relationships from my past? I'm really going to change and I'm really going to focus on something that's going to give me the fulfillment and emotional needs that you had to meet. How did that actually happen for you?
The first thing was I made clear what I really want. I want someone, of course, who is inspirational, who is supportive, who is also my subject was a lack of commitment previously. I always had very distant people attracted into my life that didn't serve me anymore. I wanted someone who was really at my side and willing to commit. And then I knew I had to step out of the old energy. So I didn't answer all the guys who behaved like this distant thing. I really stepped out. I stepped 2 or 3 steps back out of them. It doesn't have to be a radical cut, but you have to make sure to move into different mindsets, into different emotions, into different energies. So I stepped back and then I opened up and say, I open myself up for a partner who is dedicated, committed, inspirational, interesting, who is committed to having a relationship with me here and now and gives this some priority. And I made this as a clear statement. And then I decided to go out with this energy, not go back into the old energies that didn't serve me anymore, align with the new energy, go out. And then he came up.
Oh, that's amazing. So it sounded almost like you really shifted your identity, the energies around you. You had a very conscious shift of who you were being, and
Yes.
who your world
Yes.
and who you were projecting as well.
Yes, and also where I want to go, where I want to be, and what doesn't serve me anymore. This letting
Let's
go
go.
process, that is so
Yeah.
important because many people I talk to do a lot of reflection, but ultimately they are confirming themselves into
Yeah.
their old ways, into their
Yes.
traits of behavior. And that is never reflection. That is not personal work. Personal work is to what do I need to let go? Where can
Yes.
I change? Where can I raise my energy? What is supposed or what do I give allowance to go out of my life?
100%. You've just hit that on the nail. And I think that is a pivotal thing that you've just said, because when you do a lot of talk therapy, that's just reaffirming the past and you're going over and over that same energy. And that's why a lot of people, unfortunately, and I don't want to say any negative things about any modality, but it just reinforces the past and just brings back that same energy. But when we talk about letting go, and that's why I always talk about David Hawkins' book, it's a big part of my online program as well, that the letting go process is so powerful. And that really is the first step, isn't it?
I'm 100% with you. As I told you, I have a background in medicine and spent some time into psychiatry and psychotherapy, and not wishing to criticize anything or anyone, but for my part, I just found out it didn't work. And also, a number of people that I met who had been into therapy for years, it was just a cycle ongoing,
Yes.
recycling the old things, and there was no way out. And that, as you mentioned, the subconscious before, that was how I got into the point. I was reading a lot about the Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Gustav Jung, who to me is a genius, and I could 100% confirm his views. But then I thought, okay, it is the subconscious we have to work with, but how do we actually open it? How do we access it? psychotherapy to me didn't work, to many others also. I completely object to taking drugs. So there at present is this constant or upcoming wave of LSD and psilocybin and psychedelics. No, please don't do it. It doesn't work for me. It will only increase problems. So what I found out, a way of really getting to touch with you, is meditation, is becoming quiet, connecting with yourself. And also, this is where astrology comes in, also what Sige Jung points out. It's like a sort of a pathway as you go hiking and you see the signs, where might this path go? It's an additional help to find
Wow.
your subconscious and who you really are.
Yeah, wow. Tell us a little bit more about your own journey into looking and reprogramming your subconscious, because that's something I'm a major advocate of. I've even studied Psych K, and I use that tool to help people release those past traumas and actually reprogram the subconscious with healthy beliefs. Tell us a little bit more about your journey into that subconscious.
My idea is that I uh, look at people's path, that I see what are their topics, what are their struggles, and as individual as we are, everyone has their own story, everyone has their own topics. And the first thing is to find out, where are they struggling? Is it health? Is it weight? Is it finance? Is it whatever topic? Is it negative thoughts? Is it relationships? Is it family? And then you sort of find their pattern. It's like a kaleidoscope. Everyone develops their own pattern, their own thoughts, their own clouds. Some people, you call it aura, where you are just in your own energy. And then it's very helpful if you have the astrology chart to have it confirmed. What is there? What conflicting themes are there? What topics are there? And the next step is, how do we get out of it? And the beautiful thing is that life unfolds on different levels. We have the very physical level, which is sport, outward appearance, outward events. We have the emotional level, which is our feelings. We have the intellectual level, our thoughts. And if we are not careful and don't manifest on any of those, we have the subconscious level, where things will fall into the subconscious and quite often give us psychosomatic diseases. And if we understand that cycle, that we have levels where life manifests itself,
Yeah.
we can easily shift it to another level where it is less harmful, what Sigmund Freud called sublimation of energies. And also, we have the chance to transform each energy, each archetype, into a higher energy. Like, you can call it war, or you can call it energy action in sports. And it makes such a huge difference which activity or which energy level you are. And that's why it's also so important to attune yourself with higher energies.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about your own relationship now? You just sent me a message after you'd listened to my podcast. I got that amazing email from you. I was super inspired by your story, which is why I invited you to come for this podcast episode. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your relationship is going now?
Well, it was a very imminent thing that we met and connected, and all the previous like inhibitions disappeared because my
Wow.
energy was different. So once you've done that work, it's an immediate thing where you connect, where everyone has their own parts of freedom, of inspiration, and live their own lives, but make sure to be connected and to be going through life together. And also, this will be a journey. It's a never-ending process of work. And whenever things are not working out the way they should, it's a time for you to tidy up your belief system again. So I'm not saying you establish it once and that's for all, but it's constant work on yourself, like always in life. But it's an imminent thing, so don't be deterred by you. The outward life is always your mirror. You immediately reflect or attract into your life where you are standing now. And
Yeah.
that's the beautiful part. If you are not happy the way things going, work again on your mindset. And it
Yeah.
happens immediately. You do not need 5 years of psychotherapy without any result. do it right away, and it
Wow.
manifests. It's like a magnet. Life in the outside is a magnet of what is happening inside you.
100%. That is so, so true and very well put. So, Patricia, now is the question that everyone's been waiting to hear. How exactly did you meet your soulmate, and how does that feel now being in a relationship with him?
We met at a party, actually, so offline, as you always suggested. We met at a party, and I liked him. It was very instant, yeah, attraction, but it was not like that. The things that I previously had, this, oh, I'm fully electrified. You have this, oh, wonderful. This, it's unhealthy. If you have this sort of tingling sensation, yes, I must have this one and no one else, like which was in the previous, let's say, relationships that didn't turn out well. It was this high intensity, high degree of intensity, like lightning strikes you, but it's unhealthy. And that's also what I want to point out. If you have this sensation, this you're hit by 1,000 volts,
Mhm.
um, it may be a sign of you being tricked by your own belief system. It's something, oh, you want to confirm your belief system, you that keeps you in your old energies, but maybe not something that is healthy or serving you. So there should always be a lightness there, like a warm wave. There should not be this instant thunderclap or whatever you may call it,
Very
but it should
romanticized.
always feel light. And you should always be yourself. You should not trying to be anyone else. And that,
Yeah,
I think, is a very important message, that you feel when aligned with yourself, it should give you energy and not drain your energy.
fantastic. So that's exactly how you felt when you met him. He was somebody that you'd recognized as someone you'd manifested because he kind of felt light and it felt like effortless and easy, right? And you talked about how you had just met him and then he joined you on your vacation. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yes, it was like we met a couple of times and it was easy going. It is always that feeling of, oh, there is potential. But it is not this instant urging that you have in other relationships. Oh, I must have this guy. Oh, this is just the one and only for me. There was a lot of ease on both sides, and was, oh yes, it has potential. It is very nice. It was beautiful. It's like in
Close.
enriches life, but it's not the only part of your life, the only thing that your thoughts and emotions keep ruminating about. It's
Mhm.
not that. And that at some point, I said, listen, I'm going on vacation. And he said, oh well, if there's still some free time, I would like to join you. And said, well, listen, yes, the first week I'm already busy, but then we could do something together. And yes, he joined me, and it gives much more time to connect, talk, just to spend time together without the need to discuss anything, without the need to know everything about the other person. Just be there, just be
Wow.
very natural about it. And also that's the point, when you are not manifesting your old limiting beliefs, there's a lot of naturalness about it, a lot about
Yes.
easiness, letting go, and lightness. And you should always go for the feeling of light. Does it give you energy or does it take your energy? And when you don't feel well, or when you have the need to always adjust to the other person's views and to make things right in order to be accepted and loved, that is not the right thing. You should
Um,
be yourself all the time, which includes letting all your other aspects of life be there as well. And that's just so beautiful.
wow, I'm so pleased to hear that. And it sounds like at that moment that you were on holidays, that you'd sent me that email or you'd listened to that particular podcast and you felt the urge to email me. And I was so pleased to receive that email and hear your story. That's so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I was on holiday, checked my emails, and there was this surge of gratitude because it was exactly the path you had shown me. And I was so thankful. I went to say, hey, thank you. It's just the way it turned out. Because I think quite often what we need in life is courage and confidence. Because after a while, you lose the confidence in yourself. Would it really work for me? Is this really the path? Shouldn't I be doing something else? And then the strong point of a coach, I think, is to push you from outside to believe in yourself and to go your way. And I was so thankful that I said, hey, thank you for everything you've said because it reaches people, it reaches their hearts, their lives, and it helps them go their own journey. And that is so essential.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so touched that you actually did reach out because sometimes I'm doing these podcasts. I don't know who's listening, and I can never tell who, my ads are reaching, who's watching my webinars. And to have this feedback is just, it really makes my day. So thank you so much for reaching back out to me. And I'm so pleased that the work I'm doing has actually touched you and made a difference. So thank you so much for reaching out.
I'm glad you're doing this and keep it up because it does reach people always when they're at the right stage of development, they will be touched and then you can manifest wonderful things. And it's always important to have a community like this podcast that, I'm not alone with this question. I'm not alone out here in the world leading my life or trying to lead it in the best possible way. Everyone is doing the same thing. Everyone is having their own very personal questions. And when we confirm and reinforce ourselves and be gentle to each other and be loving and kind, we can really help everyone go their own path.
Oh, that was just the best summary. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I've so enjoyed interviewing you. How can people actually get in touch with you and learn about the book that you wrote and learn about your manifestation journey in attracting your soulmate?
Thank you, Michelle. This is my pleasure. You can send me an email. I will put in my email and the book I can give a link to. For now, it's available only in German, but I will have it translated and you have the link to the English version then.
Absolutely. That sounds amazing. Can't wait. Thank you so much again, Patricia. It was a pleasure to have you on our episode and look forward to hearing more stories about your unfolding romance with your soulmate going forward. And love just receiving your email with that very happy story. So just had to get you on to share. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Everyone, I'm just going to put the link of Patricia's new book. It is in German, but she can translate it into the English as well. And if you want to get in touch with her, and you can just email her, ask her any questions about how her journey has been going. And if you're interested in manifesting your soulmate, I have an amazing webinar that you can register for. You can watch that straight away. You can learn and understand exactly the step-by-step on how to manifest your soulmate. And we've got the link below, so make sure you register. Any other questions, contact me on my Instagram. It's Michelle Chung Coach. And we'll see you next time.